Hello, everyone, and welcome to this rebroadcast of UCD American football versus the Cork Admirals. The footage you're about to see is from April 13th, 2025. We were experiencing technical difficulties throughout the duration of the broadcast. So here, presented for you, is the best rendition possible of a live broadcast from that day. 5 receivers set here for Cork as the action picks up at third down here for Cork Admirals, and a big tackle from the linebacker starts us off here on this reset. Apologies for anybody who watched the live stream yesterday on this channel. It was a difficult broadcast for all of us. The VO camera that we rely on for video was not connecting to our hotspot that we bring, and as a result, the camera could capture video just fine, as you're able to see. However, it was not able to send that footage to me on a computer sitting in the locker room where I could broadcast the game out to all of you. So Cork will call a timeout in this side, so that gives us a chance to meet the UCD starting defense. UCD starting 3 rookies on defense today, including Adam Quinlan getting his first start at the defensive end position. Will Ehrlich will start at linebacker. He will also be the long snapper today. And Liam Polson, a rookie, will start at strong safety. They are joined by Alex Brady, Alton Conroy, Craig Carville, Hugh O'Connor, Larry Doyle, Alex Kusmeric, Aver Lombard, who is shown up above in his Irish Wolfhounds uniform headshot, and Dan Vershu. We'll take you back to the action as Cork lining up to go here on third down and about 9. UCD's defense getting a talking to from head coach Dara Farrell, who also calls the defensive plays. We have not missed UCD's first drive. This is Cork's first drive of the game in this first quarter of action. Jake Kennedy is the starting quarterback for Cork. He wears the number 10. 2 receivers stacked to the right. A running back is more lined up in the fullback position, as Kennedy will receive the snap with 2 receivers to his left as well. Lining up to go for it, and he is going to be wrapped up and sacked. Brought down in the backfield. It's a long 4th down coming for the Admirals. The Admirals entering today's game 0-3 on this young season. UCD beginning the year 2-0, and they have 2 games today on Sunday and next week on Saturday. You can watch the Saturday game right here on this channel. Do subscribe if you're not already subscribed to UCD American Football here on YouTube. This is where we will host all of our games this season, leading up to the Shamrock Bowl Championship game. 1 in the backfield and 2 receivers spread to each side. Lining up to go for it on 4th down. Lining up, deep shot, down the field, got him at the goal line, and it's broken up, incomplete. Dan Vershu on the breakup. UCD takes over on downs. And speaking with Cork's coaching staff prior to today's game, they do not have a listed place kicker on their roster. And in speaking with one of their coaches, they were hoping not to kick leading into today's game. So, first down UCD, as we will meet the offense following this play. Aaron Mooney starting off at quarterback for UCD, an offense that has not struggled to score points. They opened today with the 2nd best point differential in AFI with a plus 56. They've also played only 2 games. The Belfast Trojans lead in that regard at plus 87. Mooney fakes the handoff, keeps it, rushed off the backfield, and he's able to get back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. So let's meet the UCD starting offense today. Tom McAniff is lined up in running back with rookie wide receiver Jefferson Freeman spread out to the left. Sean Douglas will often line up at the right-hand side with Tom Donovan, and Stu Wiley, Aaron Mooney, and Camille Cherpiche captain the offense. Alenki, Saeed McGuire, Meidel, and Sweeney round out the offensive line. Mooney lines up and throws to his left side, got a man incomplete. Break it up on 2nd down, brings up a 3rd and 10. UCD attempting 2 passing plays, one which resulted in a quarterback run, and the other which here results in a breakup by the defense. One of UCD's main troubles is a problem that has plagued many an AFI game this season, and that is penalties. Looks like press man coverage. Mooney lining up for a big shot. Got him and streaking on a go route. Gets it complete down the field. Field flipping first down to Stu Wiley. Roughly a 20-yard pickup. And Cork will get back to go forward on defense. One of the warnings that UCD had leading into today's game was that Cork, as a player is down near the Cork Admirals sideline, so officials timeout for an injured player. One of the warnings that UCD had leading into today's game is that the Admirals like to hang on to the ball a lot, more resembling how I play NCAA football when I get back on offense. I hang on to the ball and win the time of possession battle, because if I have the ball, the most you can score is 2 points. And that philosophy seems to bleed into here with the Cork Admirals defensive setup. 2 receivers each side as Mooney has McKenniff in the backfield. He'll take the snap, hand off to McKenniff, who's got a lane open on the right side. McKenniff breaking 1 tackle, can't get around a second, and he'll reset the chains for yet another first down. So one of the points of emphasis of the UCD offense today, as normal days actually, is the speed of the offense. The offense needs to be able to come out with speed in order to score as many points as possible while they possess the ball. Because if Cork's offense is going to hang on to it for 20, 30 minutes in this game, UCD has to get going quickly. Handoff is up the middle, and it's a short run. Brings up a second down. UCD enters today's game having not played in several weeks, but they will play 2 games back-to-back, as today on Sunday and next week on Saturday, when they head to the University of Limerick to take on the Vikings. 2 receivers each side. Mooney looks to his left, looks to his right, going for the right-hand side corner, and unable to make the grab. Third down, another miss. 4th and 10. UCD does have to get a first down in order to reset the chains. It is about 2 yards to go to the goal line from the end of this down series. Mooney lines up in shotgun with a setback to his right. 2 receivers each side. Mooney waits. Mooney holds. Mooney throws and broken up again. Fourth down coming. UCD's offense will stay on the field here. As longtime viewers of this channel will note, UCD's team does not have a place-kicking unit, so their scoring range consists of getting the ball into the end zone and then going for 2. Receiver goes in motion to the right side. Offside coming here. Free play, shot toward the end zone. Douglas fighting back to the ball, and he's hoping for a pass interference call, but none is going to come. It'll be a shorter 4th down coming here for UCD, following the offside on the defensive line. One of the scouting notes from UCD's offense heading into today's game is that the defensive line for Cork is able to get pressure on the quarterback, but it's something they can do and they are capable of, but they don't always get through the offensive line. That time, they jumped a tad early here in the early goings of this first quarter. This is UCD's first time with the ball, setting up 4th and 5. Got to get the ball across the 2-yard line for a first set of downs. Could get a touchdown here too. UCD staying with their 4-wide formation, 2 receivers each side. Here's the snap. Mooney waits. Mooney throws. Late hit on the quarterback. And as the ball sails out of the end zone, Cork is going to gift UCD a 1st and goal. One of the Admirals players is pleading with the referee today, and that's not going to result in any favors. So UCD will set with a fresh set of downs, keeping their starting 11s on the field. As we await the apparently writing down of the white hats. I'm not exactly sure what he's writing down, but Cork will take the lull in the game and opt to substitute a player out. And finally, the signal comes to confirm what we all could see. So it's a half the distance to the goal penalty, setting up from the 4. Mooney's got a full house backfield with him with 2 receivers, 1 to each side. Mooney's going to bootleg it out toward the right side, gets through a defender, touchdown, UCD. Six points go on the board for the visitors in sky blue. And now they will line up for 2 points. UCD will line up with their tractor formation. I think they have Kusmerik lined up in the back, and there's a bungled snap. Kusmerik's going to run, utilizing that speed he knows is a safety, and he'll dive for the 2 points. UCD now extends their lead 8-0 here in the first quarter. Snap was low. Kusmerik was able to pick it up, similar to what a fumble might be, used to his defensive positioning. As UCD's kickoff team will go back onto the field, Will Lambert is the kickoff specialist for UCD. He will also line up at defensive line occasionally. On special teams today, that features the return of Daniel Greer to the lineup, number 37. He's joined on the left side by Alex Kusmerik, Evan Quigley, Robbie Sheff, and Adam Quinlan. And on the right side of the kickoff formation will be Michael Harvey, Owen Corrigan, Anthony Onwuka, Harry Watchorn, and Brandon Atwell. Lambert will receive the ball. With a 1-possession lead to work with, UCD goes back on defense. The visitors from Dublin County today are working toward the north end zone as Cork operates toward the south. Lambert gives a swing of the right leg, and we're back underway. This one will bounce toward and through underneath the goalposts, out for a touchback. Today's stadium is one of the few natural grass pads in the AFI. The home sideline is on the eastern edge, and the visitor sideline is on the west, with the bordering of the Currageen River. On the south side, if you keep going, you'll hit MTU GAA Stadium, where the teams set up and have their dressing rooms. And if you head north, you will reach eventually Blarney Castle, home of the Blarney Stone. So a first down opportunity here for the Admirals. They have struggled to score this season, and they begin their drive from the 25-yard line. Kennedy lines up in shotgun. 2 receivers each side, a motion now has a running back behind him. He'll hand it off to him. Interesting pirouette move. Thought the running back was going to go to his left. Ended up having to do a 3/4 spin, hand the ball off, and it results in a negative yardage play, 2nd and 13. You may be able to see on the bottom of the screen, Dar Farrow calling out his formations with a combination of numbers and symbols. Those numbers and symbols all correspond to a different set of instructions for each person on the defense, or each group of participants, I should say. Full house backfield, another run. This one's going to go for positive yards, but the D-line rallies to the football and stops the play. Ball came out. Referee immediately signals that the runner was down. So the Admirals setting up a 3rd and long. Admirals living up to their reputation, taking their sweet time in the huddle before setting up their 3rd down play. Wonder what Kennedy is going to do here. Running back stays into pass protect. UCD backs off into coverage. 3 receivers around, and one of them runs into the receiver. This is going to be an unlucky break for UCD. That pass was overhead and not going to be caught as UCD brings on reinforcements on the defensive line. First and 10 coming up here following what looks like a clear defensive pass interference play. I do find it interesting that 2 of the referees are wearing white shoes while the others are wearing black shoes. I guess right down to their shoes, the zebra stripes are living up to their names. I kid. I like to make a lot of jokes on these broadcasts. And now they will discuss the spot of the football. The Admirals have only scored 1 touchdown so far this season, which came in their loss to the Belfast Trojans. They have 2 safeties for reference, and a loss to the Belfast Knights 11-4, which for anybody who may have wanted a trivia this evening, the Admirals and Knights, when they had that scoreline, it was the first time that a game had ever ended in that scoreline, and it would have been a scoregami, as it's called, in the National Football League if that had happened in an NFL game. Another flag has been thrown, and I'm not sure why. You all could see it. You all saw the white-hatted official throw his flag up in the air for seemingly no reason. We're still partway through this first quarter as the officials gathering around to debate the defensive pass interference call. Curious to see if the officials might be discussing targeting. Because there's no video replay, any review of targeting is just with the perspectives that the referees and officials have on the field. So now the discussion is with head coach Dara Farrell of what happens now. As judging by the fact that nobody on UCD is being asked to leave the game, if there was a targeting discussion, it must not have been seen as enough to warrant the call. Anyone familiar with AFI will notice that the referees discuss a lot. So it's just a pass interference call, which does result in an Admirals first down. First and 10 coming up here. Big line to big line we go. On a 90-yard field, middle of the field is considered the 45-yard line, as this is a converted rugby pitch. 3 receivers to the right. They send one in motion from the left to the right. Has one open in the flat, gets one open in the middle, soft hole of the defense, and it's caught over the side. So this will get a new set of downs for the Admirals. From the 37 of UCD, Cork will set up again. UCD tends to stay in their front four formation with 2 linebackers and 5 back in coverage, often known as nickel formation, because there are 5. If you add one more, it's called dime formation because there's no 6-cent coin in the United States currency. Here's the rush on. It's a short pass, but he could not hang on to it. 3 defenders converging on it would not have been much of a gain. Instead, it ends up being nothing. Second down coming. And the Admirals will turtle up and play the slow game. Second and 10 as the boys in red approach the line. County Cork is well known for the color red. It's often referred to as the Rebel County, and the county's GAA clubs are replete with red, as well as their inter-county team. Huge hit on the play by the cornerback Brady to break up the pass. Third down and 10 coming up. Admirals drive stalling here. As they break the huddle facing a third and 10 following 2 straight incomplete passes. They try to go underneath both times. 2 in the backfield with the quarterback in between the running backs. 1 receiver each side. And they'll blow the play dead on an awkward snap. There was movement along the lines. 2 flags come down. Curious to see who has the best view. As the slower these officials walk, the slower this game is going to be. UCD will take the opportunity to substitute out some of their players. And the signal is offside on UCD. So this will set up a 3rd and 5. As the new ball gets spotted. And UCD's defensive captain wondering how was the team offside. That's Larry Doyle walking away from the conversation, nonplussed, I'm sure, by the result. 2 receivers left, 2 in the backfield, 1 to the right. Kennedy stands, waits, takes the snap, fakes the pitch. Nice sneak around, trying to get to that line to gain. He's unable to get there, wrapped up before he can get to that big stick on the sideline. 4th down coming. UCD trying to halt the Cork drive and get their offense back onto the field with an 8-0 lead. The Admirals huddle up again. As we again remind viewers that the next game between UCD and the University of Limerick Vikings, a inter-varsity rematch, will be next Saturday at 2 p.m. Irish time, 9 a.m. Eastern in the United States. Here's the snap. Throw on the way, got it over the middle, and it's just beyond the line to gain. 1st down. The Admirals continue to march down the field slowly as we close in on the end of the 1st quarter. UCD's defense is a lot more used to working against a hurry-up offense, which is what UCD likes to run, as it's a tighter formation, 2 receivers right, 2 receivers left with 1 in the backfield. Kennedy waits, signals, gets the ball. has a blitz off the left side, cannot get there. Linebacker comes in. Quarterback's going to run toward the sideline, and there are appeals for a late hit. Flag does come in. It was a good quarterback run to set up a makeable second down, but a late flag from the back judge may give Cork more yards here. They'll spot the ball at the end of the run, so looking like a 2nd and 1, maybe a long one. 3 officials discuss. As somebody should probably keep a running tally of all of the 3 officials discuss types of plays, because there are a lot. And they wave off the flag. So whatever the call was, they decide it's not worth prosecuting. Second down coming. As given the arms over the head signal, that signals the end of the first quarter. So the Admirals are absolutely living up to their reputation as a slow-moving team. Both teams have possessed the ball once in full drives. The second drive for Cork has yet to reach a conclusion. It'll be second down and 2 from inside the red zone, as the teams will switch ends, and Cork will now attack the north end zone, and UCD will attack the south end zone. Players trying to get some stretches in. Awfully hard to stay loose when all you're doing on defense is standing around waiting for the offense to get to the line. As the Admirals walk toward their 2nd and 2. And so do the referees as they now re-enter the picture. And the chains on the opposite side will also re-enter. Cork dressed in red with what looks to be blue numbers and a white outline. I will say the blue numbers are not legible enough, for my liking at least. UCD in their alternate sky blue with yellow, which is at least a better standout from the red. Kennedy takes the snap, fakes the handoff, has 2 men. Whoa! He got it away, though. He got wrapped up in the backfield as I stumble over my words. And I have a feeling they might be calling this play back to the point of where the quarterback was. They are going to go back to the spot where the quarterback was ruled down. Interesting move here, as the quarterback was able to get the ball away. Apparently, he didn't get away in time. Admirals now setting up for a 3rd down and 2. And, oh, wait, more signaling. I believe that says 3rd down on the yardage stick on the opposite side, and the referee makes a signal with 2 fingers up. That's going to be 2nd down. So apparently, the referee crew made a mistake and have decided that in fairness, they'll just replay the down instead of gifting any team an unfair advantage based on a mistaken call. So it's 2nd and 2 one more time, as the Admirals walk or jog their way to the offensive line. Kennedy goes under center. Linebackers sneak up, and the defensive line gobbles up the runner in the backfield. Not gonna get anywhere. UCD staying on the field for a long time. The Admirals setting up a third down play. Brandon Atwell is going to go in. Interesting move to put Atwell on the defensive line here on a 4th and short. Handoff. Quarterback could not keep it. That was 3rd down, so now it's going to be 4th. Even I get messed up on the previous play. 4th and short coming here. As they bring in the heavy bodies, that's Michael Staunton, who just came in off the sideline. Admirals got to get it here. 4th down, 2 yards to go. They send 3 receivers to the right side of the formation. UCD bunches a few defenders around the center. Fakes a handoff. Quarterback sweep out to the right side. Thought about going interior, gets to the sideline, heads out of bounds, and he's got the 1st down. The Admirals' drive continues. UCD is only up 8-0. This the continuation of the last drive from the 1st quarter. First and 12 yards to the end zone, so it's 1st down, 10 yards to get. As everybody's going to bunch up to the small side of the field. Interesting formation here for the Admirals. They fake the toss, heading toward the end zone. They got a layered concept route, back of the end zone, incomplete, had double coverage on the play. Admiral setting up again for a 2nd down and 10. Because this game is a rebroadcast, I will skip through the halftime interval and restart the second half of action as soon as possible. Snap to Kennedy, and they bungle the handoff. Diving on top of it is UCD. First turnover of the game is a fumble recovery, and the students from Sky Blue are heading back onto the field. Big recovery by 56, Alton Conroy, as he walks off to high fives to set the offense up in their own territory. Bungled the transfer, and now UCD a chance to go up by 2 scores. Here's Mooney, 2 receivers to each side. Has a man in motion. Receiver comes in to block. Handoff is to Atwell and could not get back to the line to gain. Receiver missed the blitzer up the middle. 2nd and looks about 15 from here. UCD, no huddle, they go quickly. 3 receivers to Mooney's right, 1 to the left. He'll bring Atwell down to his left-hand side. Toss play. It's a forward pass. Atwell is going to sweep around, got good blockers, and he'll get hit out of bounds beyond the 25. And it's actually right at the 25. A good run. Sets up 3rd and about 2. Two receivers each side with a running back behind. Two Cork runners show that they're going to run in on the right side of the defense, left side of the offensive line. Running back will now set straight behind. Now here's another toss play, backward pass, and they get the first down, a little bit more, getting across the 35. Tom McKenniff gets a good run, 1st and 10. UCD staying in their territory, no huddle. Signals come in from the offensive coordinator, Mark Lawless, and the backup quarterback, Ty O'Connor. Same formation as the previous play, 2 receivers each side with a running back coming out of the backfield. Angle route by him, going for a long post route, incomplete, sets up 2nd down. And the ball comes all the way back to UCD sideline. Second and 10. 2 receivers now set up on the left side, and they'll send it out to the one on the other side. Almost intercepted. Mooney looking for Sean Douglas on that route. Could not complete it. 3rd and 10 coming up here. Wiley and Freeman line up on the outside and the inside on the right-hand side, as Mooney's dealing with 4 linemen and 2 linebackers. Here comes the pass, looking for the opposite side. Stu Wiley comes down with the catch. Underthrew Freeman. Wiley came into the underside of the route and made the grab, sets up a 1st down. A lot of contact on Jefferson Freeman on the play. If this isn't foreshadowing of what's to come with the referee's decision making on pass interference plays. Mooney, handoff, up the middle goes Atwell, and he's bottled up before he can get much. Maybe a gain of a yard, sets up 2nd and 9. As now you might be able to see it as we head toward the south. The struts that you see hanging out are the overhangs for the Munster Technical University GAA Stadium, or Gaelic Athletic Association, for those who are not familiar. I'll tell you more about that as we go further. 2 receivers each side with a running back behind. Mooney fakes the handoff, takes it back, runs over. He's got to find somebody looking over. Freeman almost comes down with it, but he can't complete the process of the catch. Freeman was out to block on the play. Mooney had to get rid of it. Freeman dove, could not bring the ball in. 3rd down and 9. So the Gaelic Athletic Association, for those who are not aware, is an amateur sports organization here in Ireland. They were founded in the 1880s as a rebellion of sorts against British control of amateur athletics in Ireland, and a revival of Gaelic games. Handoff to McKenniff, who's got, no, that's Atwell, who's got blockers up ahead. Gets a few yards. 4th and 4 coming up here. They look back into the signals of Mark Lawless and Ty O'Connor. Mooney's got 2 in the backfield with him. Wiley and Freeman out to the right, as Donovan motions to the left. They'll look back at the coaching staff. And apparently they've gotten the signals that they need. Mooney hands it off. Atwell's going to run for it, and he's very close. UCD firmly believes it's a 1st down. The Admirals firmly believe it's a turnover on downs, as apparently the signal is UCD does not get to keep the ball. UCD's defense and Cork's offense were both running onto the field at the same time, as now all the striped shirts get together and talk. Not clear what the ruling on the field was, and judging by the fact that the offense is walking off the field, the ruling on the field is it's Cork ball following a turnover on downs. Admirals offense goes back onto the field. Signals come again from the sideline for UCD's staunch defense. They were not scored on during the first game of the season, and the Belfast Knights in the second game finally broke through. Dublin Rebels were unable to punch the scoreboard. So let's see what the Admirals have in store. This is now their third complete drive of the game. Two receivers stacked close to the left-hand side, two receivers spread to the right. Kennedy receives the snap, going over the middle and lobbing it over, and it's through a few hands, incomplete. Two guys were back for UCD on the coverage. Dan Vershu among them. Falls for a 2nd and 10. Admirals will go back into their huddle, as is their normal formation. Admirals finally break camp. Three receivers stack on the right-hand side, one in the backfield, and play is stopped, as the coach for the Admirals is not happy about something, and it looks like they've called their second timeout of the half. So following this second down play, UCD looking to again go back on offense. Last drive resulted in a turnover on downs, as the one running out from the sideline is number 29, Michael Harvey, one of the veterans on this team, to join this defensive discussion. UCD still has all three of their timeouts here in the second quarter of action. So whatever Cork didn't like about that last play, they seem to have resolved it now. Three receivers to the right, one to the left, with a running back lined up behind the guard. Kennedy stands, waits, gets the ball. He's going to run on a draw play. Design quarterback run and a big tackle in the second level. First down for the Admirals. Admirals still going into their huddle. And now as they break, they set up in a similar formation to last time. Three receivers right, one to the left with a running back behind the tackle. Again, a quarterback draw up the middle. This time the defensive line was ready for it and meets him there. Limited gain as UCD will line change their line out. Number 0 is Owen Feely, who was among those coming out, as was number 64, Liam Butler. One of the benefits of facing a team that likes to do this on offense is that you get plenty of chances to keep guys fresh as you rotate them in. The other benefits, the game likely ends a little bit earlier with an offense that goes slowly. Fake the toss to the motion receiver, and this time it's a forward pass, almost intercepted. Nearly a worst-case scenario for the Admirals, and it just ends up at a 3rd and 9. Admirals will huddle again, need to get to the 40-yard line to reset the chains and bring up first down. The Admirals have set their sails north and will attack on this play. 3 receivers bunched way close on the right side. Kennedy drops back. Kennedy eludes one person on the pressure, and a big pass breakup again. Dan Vershu making that long jump, and Cork's punting unit will come onto the field. The Admirals line up in a bizarre formation here as they've got 2 gunners on the right side. Something doesn't look right here. Anyway, UCD rushes. It's a very large pop-up snap. Fake punt going out for the pass. Tipped, and it's caught. The Admirals have just pulled off a huge fake punt. What a catch by Jack Hayes. Looks like 55, and the referee has just thrown a flag. It was either 65 Jack Hayes or 55 Marty Mulry on the reception following a tip on a fake punt pass. Longest single yardage play of the Admirals today, if it stands. Looks like UCD's defense is staying out on the field for now. As if this is indeed a penalty on the Admirals, likely a re-kick is coming. Another lengthy discussion. Here in the second quarter of action, UCD leads by a full 1 possession, 8-0. They've only held the ball twice today, as is Cork's prerogative. They like to hang on to the ball and wait for you to get frustrated. Hasn't helped the Admirals win so far, but it has helped them keep the other teams off the board. Admirals have only allowed a total of 24 points this season in their 2 games so far, 13 to the Belfast Trojans and 11 to the Belfast Knights. Ineligible receiver downfield on the Admirals. So they will have to go all the way back to the original spot and march back 5 yards. Cork wouldn't try their fake punt scheme again now, would they? Anyway, Douglas is back to return, assuming there is a punt this time. I knew something didn't look right about that punt formation. And now they line up in it again, so perhaps this is just how Cork likes to line up for their punts. 2 gunners both on one side of the field. This one's a much better snap. Kick is down the field, and Douglas is going to let this one hop. It takes a friendly roll for the Admirals, and this will set up UCD on their half of the field. 3rd time with the ball so far today for the Sky Blue defenders, as UCD defending their Shamrock Bowl title from last season. Belfast Trojans look like they are making a big run at that crown. They've won all 3 games they've played so far, including last week against these Admirals. Belfast also has defeated the Craigavon Cowboys, who were recently promoted from Division 1, and the South Dublin Panthers, resulting in a point differential of plus 87. Mooney comes out with Dubs formation, 2 receivers left, 2 receivers to the right. And he'll hand it off, run up the middle for a limited gain, brings up second down. That's Jack Finnegan, number 33 in the backfield for UCD. One of the advantages that UCD has is its depth. They like to rotate in a lot of players at all positions, including the skill positions. Mooney motion from the left. Pop-up pass. Here's a sweep around the edge. A huge block, and it's going to get out for the first down. A well-designed play for Torin Murray. That's the first time we've called his name so far today. Pass again, and this time it is a short run. Brings up second down coming here on the quarterback run. Murray is from Hong Kong. He has experience in rugby and is a current undergrad in computer science. Interesting move here. This looks like a backward pass for UCD. Flag on the play. Pass was thrown and caught behind the line of scrimmage as Murray was going forward for more yards. Looked like a flag potentially called on the blocking out in front of him. And indeed, it is a hold. So this will set up second down and 14. Murray had one previous season with UCD, so he won the Shamrock Bowl last year. He'll sometimes line up at tight end as well. Mooney drops back. Mooney throws, looking for Donovan. Got him over the sideline. And he'll shake and bake around the defender and gain an extra 8 yards. And now they'll get to Cork's half of the field as we're getting late here into this first half of action. Mooney back. Mooney throws. Mooney's got a man. And Murray wrestling forward, unable to get very far. Tackle from Elijah Destigny on the UCD sideline. As the officials discuss something. And this is the 2-minute warning. Just as a nomenclature point for anybody who might be interested in such things, college football calls this the 2-minute timeout, in part because when the NFL instituted the 2-minute warning, it really was a warning because nobody really had access to digital clocks the way we do today. Mooney's going to throw down the right sideline looking for Wiley, and eventually a flag comes in. Not sure what the holdup was. David Kinsella, the defensive back from County Kilkenny, was on the coverage, lists himself as 6 feet tall. And when matched up against Wiley, who lists himself at 6'5". That's an interesting matchup to go up against. Mooney trying to find his big tight end, streaking down the field. A pass interference call would give UCD amazing field position. And to put a coda on my story, when college football instituted the 2-minute timeout a few seasons ago, they decided to call it a timeout because now with access to clocks at every stadium, they don't need to warn teams that there are only 2 minutes remaining because most teams know that there are 2 minutes remaining by virtue of being able to look at a digital scoreboard. Here in Dublin and here in Cork and other cities in the AFI, it really is a 2-minute warning because there is no clock at most fields. And indeed, they do call it defensive pass interference. And so because of the penalty, they take the ball from the spot of the previous play and move it at that hash mark down the field. They don't go to where the spot of the penalty was. Mooney has two receivers each side. He's going to air it out, looking for Atwell toward the sideline. It's underthrown and intercepted. Cork turns UCD over inside the 20, and they are dangerously close to that goal line, so it does not look like they have gotten any good field position out of it, but they hold UCD off the scoreboard as Mooney is intercepted for the second time this season. The Admirals have no timeouts remaining, and they are under 2 minutes to go. Very curious decision to see how the Admirals play this. They can't just kneel on the ball to get to the half. They have to try to at least get yardage out from the shadow of their own goalposts, as there's a clearer shot of Munster Technical University's GAA stadium. If you've never seen GAA action, I highly recommend finding highlights on YouTube or finding a stream that you can work through, because it's some of the fastest competition that's available in any athletic context. Kennedy and his men in red step up to the 1 yard line, needed to get yards. Kennedy takes a low snap, blitz off the left side, short pass, quick tackle, second down coming. Alex Brady, the starting corner on that right side. The one on the stop. Admirals going a little bit quicker than their normal pace, recognizing the urgency of being only down one score. Kennedy running for his life, throws it away, nearly picked off at the sideline on the far side of the field. Third down and 5. There's about a minute to go by my judgment. And the Admirals, now that the clock is stopped due to the incomplete pass, can go back to their normal snail's pace. Due to the pre-recorded nature of this game, I will be jumping straight to the second half. Snap to Kennedy. Third down play, gotta have it, through the hands of the defender, incomplete. That's Kusumeric on the breakup, leads to a fourth down, and Cork looks like they're going to punt here, although we said that last time, and they ended up running a fake. Clock is stopped, and UCD, they do have all 3 timeouts here in this first half, so if they do manage to get this ball back, they have something to work with. Admirals line up a few steps from the back of the end zone. And the punt does get away. If the AI camera will ever cooperate to show us what's going on, Sean Douglas has it, and a couple of blocks in the back. Looks like we're going to have some penalties resulting here. As Liam Poulsen came in and took out one of the guys on the punt team for the Admirals. There are flags on the field, which if you've watched this game so far, you'll wonder what else is new. I'm Max Walpoff. Thank you again for understanding yesterday's conundrum. However, this is what we can do to work with the situation that we have. The game has already happened by the time you're able to watch this, hence the reason we're able to show you the video. It was definitely awkward yesterday on the live stream, watching the text feed of the game rather than watching the actual game, as the referees discuss something. If this is the length of the discussion, there might be a second penalty here. As the white hat is making signals of what the penalty is. Looks like we're going to re-kick. Very well then. So now everybody comes back off the field. It is just a 4th and 5, so whatever penalties there may have been were offset. And Cork will get to try this again. Max protect punt formation here, close to the goal line. And punt does come through, nearly broken up, and that one is running into the kicker. Douglas makes the return. This is going to be a penalty on UCD for sure, as Douglas is finally dragged down. Yet another nearly blocked punt. If this penalty is on UCD, it'll be a first down for the Admirals. As there is a discussion, potentially a Cork penalty will result in a 3rd punt in a row. UCD's short a man. They've only got 10 guys in the field. Yep, penalties offset, and we're going to punt again. So the Admirals punt unit is definitely getting some work out here. Running into the kicker penalty by UCD would have given the Admirals a first down, but for a Cork penalty that came on the return, we're just going to go back to 4th and 5 from the 6. This time the Admirals will change their punting formation a little bit as they spread a few guys out toward the right side. Although they might just be heading off for substitutions. Yes, indeed they are. And hang on a second. Interesting. They're lining up for a 4th and short. So, all right, let me see if I have this right. Because it's running into the kicker, that's only a 5-yard penalty, not roughing the kicker, which would be 15. And so now, with it being 4th and inches, they're going to send the offense back out onto the field. I guess this is Cork knowing that UCD does not have a place kicking unit. Everybody lines up over the center, and a flag comes in. Delay of game on Cork, and all of that window dressing just gets us right back where we started. 4th and 5, and the punt unit comes on yet again. Yikes. Well, you live by the sword, you die by the sword. You live by going too long in the huddle, you die by going too long in the huddle. Cork will drop back here, max protect punt formation on. And this one's a low, bungled snap. It managed to get a quick kickoff. It'll bounce into Sean Douglas, who receives it, has to shake and bake around a few players, and gets it with decent field position for UCD. With 3 timeouts, they got use of the entire field to work with in what will likely be the last possession of this half. UCD up by 8 here against the Admirals. Mooney will set up with 2 receivers each side as the Admirals set their defense. Mooney waits. Mooney firing to the right side, looking for Freeman, and he's broken up incomplete. Had 2 receivers on him. There was contact by the cornerback. Hunting for the end zone, could not get there. Mooney sets up with McKenniff in the backfield and 2 receivers each side. Looking at likely the last play of this half. Heading short of the end zone, it's going to be incomplete. And that is the end of the first half. And due to the pre-recorded nature of this game, we will now zoom ahead toward the second half of today's contest between UCD and the Cork Admirals. We thank everybody for joining us here today on this live stream. Once again, my name is Max Walpoff, and we're happy to have you along for the ride. So second half of action coming up here as UCD will receive the opening half kickoff. Before we get started, we do want to thank all of the donors who supported us on our last live stream, including the O'Briens, the Freemans, the Ehrlichs, and the Harpers. Thank you so much. Your support means everything to a small club like ours. And as Cork's kicking unit is waiting, it was a windy day the last time the Admirals played against the Trojans, so they had to have somebody hold the ball on the tee, and he had an interesting formation set up as there's a swing of the leg. A foul comes in on the kickoff, and it kick out of bounds. That was a comically bad opening kickoff for the half. Wow, that was not good. So while the referees discuss the penalties here, we do want to remind everybody that we are a small club and we do rely heavily on donations to offset some of our costs, including bus rentals and ambulance rentals, so that we can have medical personnel at home games. So any amount you're able to donate for Revolut for our Irish watchers and for PayPal for our watchers around the world, we want to thank you in advance for sending us anything you can to help us offset the costs of running a small club like ours. UCD Football thanks you so much. The referees are still discussing what the result is here, as UCD will open the half by attacking the south end zone, which is the same half that they attacked to end the first half. So 2 fouls are on the play. One is for the free kick out of bounds, and the other, I believe, is for offside against the unit. And they're going to waive off the offside because you can only accept one penalty if it's on the play. You are allowed to accept 2 penalties if one is on the play and one is after the play, but that's not what happened here. UCD will open this drive with 8-0 as their scoreline. Smallest margin so far entering the second half for UCD, as they get the free 5 yards after the kick goes out of bounds. And UCD will opt to set up on the right hash. Ball went out on the left side as the offense sees it. And nope, they'll set up on the left hash. All right, thanks for confusing me, everybody. Mooney lines up in the backfield, and receiver comes in. Sweet play for Torrin Murray. Got a good block from his receivers out in front and getting all the way for another first down. Freeman and Wiley had the good lead blocks. As setting up from near midfield. And one of the players for the Admirals goes down on the play before the snap can come. Looks like Matthew Sabonian is the one down on the field. Yep, that's number 33 for the Admirals. UCD attacking the south end zone. If we go straight west, or straight east, past the bench side of the Cork Admirals, you'll get to Cork City Centre. One of the southernmost cities in Ireland. It was low teens with some wind if you're following the temperature in Celsius. It was low 50s with some wind if you're following the temperature in Fahrenheit. And looks to be some treatment on one of Sabonian's feet. So I'll pop the donation graphic up again in case you missed out or are joining us late or decided to skip ahead to the second half. I want to thank everybody for joining us on the UCD American football stream. We will have another stream next Saturday at 2 p.m. Irish time for our match against the University of Limerick Vikings. Sabonian's able to jog off under his own power. UCD is lined up ready to go for their next play. They'll send Wiley over to the left side of the formation. And it's a run up the middle. McKenniff is brought down for no gain. They'll try again here on second down and 11. Mooney waits. Defense confused on assignments. Pitch play to the left-hand side, and McKenna is brought down for another loss. 3rd and 12 coming up here as UCD flip sides will line up from the left. Admirals were confused on that play as to who was covering who. Admirals sticking with their 4-3 formation. They'll send the 3 receivers to the right side. Mooney is wrestled down, gobbled up in the backfield, could not escape the pressure, and he goes down, 4th down coming. UCD will send on their punt unit. That means Tom Donovan will go from his normal spot as a receiver and line up to kick. Donovan, a Dublin local, also plays rugby, tennis, golf, as well as snowboards. He graduated UCD in 2016 with an electronic engineering and business degree. Here's his punt heading toward the side. They had 2 receivers back for the Admirals. None of them received it, and it will roll out of bounds inside the 20. New set of downs for the Admirals, trailing UCD by a score of 8-0. As it looks like a little bit of rain is starting to fall on the field as we enter the second half of action. This will be Cork's first time touching the ball here in this half. They'll line up with a bunch formation on the right side, toss play to the running back, 3 receivers going out to block, and everybody meets him there. Limited gain sets up 2nd down. The Admirals again playing milk the clock. As they keep control of the ball as long as possible. It's held them into this game so far. The offense has been anemic, unable to score, but they've kept UCD off the scoreboard all but that one possession back in the first half. Run play to the right side, gobbled up by the line again, and this one looks like it lost a yard. Cork will set up with 3 receivers to the right side. Kennedy waits for his snap as the sun starts to peek out again in Cork. And an interesting formation, design quarterback run. It's a defensive party. Everybody's invited. The entire D-line gets him down to the ground. 4th down coming, and it looks like the Admirals will send out the punt team. Cork has already pulled off a fake punt today. This one seems a little bit too far back in their own territory to try that again. 2 gunners to the right. Long snap comes. It's a short one, but they're able to get the kick away. Douglas calls off the Dogs on the return, and it will bounce out of bounds inside the UCD 30. Offense back on the field. This is their second time touching the ball. They punted the first time up, receiving the second half kickoff. Lined up, looks like at the 26-yard line. Two receivers each side. UCD has been largely staying in this formation today against the Admirals. Spreads out the corner coverage with one high safety. Motion from the left-hand side to the right. They'll throw a pass out toward him, and it does not get very far, maybe a half yard on Torin Murray's catch. It doesn't look like they actually marked any yardage gain, so 2nd and 10 coming here. Jack Finnegan in the backfield for UCD. He waits, and he receives the toss. The receiver's and lineman out to block, and he tries to step into the line, and that was a heavy hit from Marty Mulry. That heavy hit sets up a 3rd and 5. Aaron Mooney looking over his options, looking middle of the field, sends a pass on, and he's got a man. Tom Donovan making it all the way, getting it through. Donovan's going to drag a guy, couple dozen yards, and he's still going. Somehow he's going. His shirt is ripped off. He makes it all the way to the goal line. How does Tom Donovan keep getting away with this? Ladies and gentlemen of AFI, we may have a new play of the year, and it's Tom Donovan on that long touchdown run. Wow. Brought a guy 10, 15 yards down the field and had half of his shirt ripped off by the end of it. The legend of the 2-time Shamrock Bowl MVP continues to grow. It was just a pass over the middle at first. That's why I didn't get too excited. UCD lines up to go for 2 here. Tractor formation. They'll send a pitch out to the right side, and he will go nowhere. So they don't get the conversion, but they absolutely get the touchdown on easily a play of the year candidate by Tom Donovan. 14-0 UCD on top. And a flag comes in. Something one of the Cork players said. Number 12, Dan Sheedy, the one who was closest to the official who threw the flag. And there's now another conversation. I don't know how people keep sleeping on Tom Donovan's abilities. The guy is a 2-time Shamrock Bowl MVP winner, including last year, where he lined up at quarterback for a play and ran it several dozen yards for a touchdown. I don't remember the exact number of yards, but it was easily above 70. My apologies, folks. It looked like in the video they actually did rule that the 2-point conversion was made through. I did see the official make the signal. It just didn't look like he made it from my perspective. So, an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty on UCD. All right. I didn't hear what was said or see the particular infraction. So UCD's kickoff team is going to set up much deeper in their own territory. Will Lambert will have a little bit more to go to get this ball back as they'll line up to kick from the 15-yard line. 16-0 UCD leads by a full 2 possessions after a crazy catch and run by Tom Donovan. Lambert checks to make sure his sides are ready to go, and he'll run up, swing the leg, and we're back underway. It's a line drive kick. It is going to be touched and received. That might have been rolling out of bounds, but the Admirals will opt to receive it and carry it up the field. In fairness to the person who received it, number 14, Jan Dessini, that ball was going out of bounds and that would have been lined up at the 30. However, because he received it, they'll get a little bit better field position. And by a little bit better, I mean they're lining up at the 32. So here comes Kennedy and the Admirals, now down 2 possessions to the second place team in the league. Going to be an interesting setup here for UCD, as now we're getting closer to the end of the game than the start of it. Passes behind the line looking for blocks, not able to get there. Brady read that one all the way on the behind the line scrimmage play. That wasn't going far. Dessini, the receiver, and Dessini went down hard. Setting up again, 2 receivers each side, and they have too many guys on the field. I think they had too many guys on the field. 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, 12. Yeah, Cork had too many guys on the field. And they were lining up in formation with a snap imminent, so they call a timeout to avoid the 5-yard penalty. Not a great sign for the Admirals there. As we get deeper into this third quarter, they take their first timeout of the half. Especially for a team down 2 possessions, they might need that. You may have noticed that I was counting by 3s. When I worked for in their football team, one of my jobs was the replay booth technician to make sure the replay cameras all worked. And the replay officials that I worked with, they were all ex-on-field referees who either retired because they couldn't do as many games or retired for injury or family purposes, but still wanted to be around the game. That was how they counted all the players, 3, 6, 9, 10, 11, which up until working in that environment, I had never heard anybody count by that to count people on a football field. And now they've got the proper number of players out there. The Admirals set up for second down. Kennedy lines up, going for it all, getting a huge play out there, and it's broken up incomplete. Receiver and DB may have lost it in the sun, as the pass intended for number 88, Victor Mazer. Third and long coming up here. starters remaining out for UCD. Admirals set up 3 receivers to the right. One in the backfield, one close to the left. Here comes the blitz. Quinlan gets around his blocker and brings him down in the backfield. Adam Quinlan gets a huge sack to knock the Admirals off of the play. 4th and forever. Cork coming on to punt. Dan Sheedy will line up to take this kick. As again, this formation for Cork is definitely different. Most teams, when they punt, have a gunner on each side of the snap. Cork sends both of them to the right side. It's a slow-moving punt. It eventually gets up in the air, and it was not a very good one. Did not get back to midfield. So UCD gets back on the field again, looking to keep the offense engaged. They've had 1 touchdown so far in this half. They had 1 to open up the first half with their first possession. We got a 2-point conversion on the last drive. So let's see what UCD can set up for here. Mooney takes the snap, pitch play. Receivers all out to block. Got move up the side. It's going to be a short gain, as that's an Atwell rush for 9 yards. 2nd and 1 coming here. Atwell is subbed off for Jack Finnegan. Receivers on the right side will bunch up around the line of scrimmage, as they will now motion left and stay on the end of the line. Mooney waits. Handoff is to Finnegan, and Finnegan is met in the backfield for a loss. Third and 5 coming for UCD as they are on Cork's half of the field. 1 touchdown already this half, plus the 2-point conversion to make it 16-0. More traditional spread formation here for UCD. 2 receivers each side. 1 high safety for Cork. Going to get tested here. Long ball coming, looking for a Wiley. He comes down with it. Stu Wiley, big man hands, big man catch. 1st and goal coming for UCD. Mooney and the offense lining up quickly as the Admirals are confused. They'll pitch it toward the right side. That's where everyone was confused on. But the confusion was in the secondary and not at the line of scrimmage. Met in the backfield. Finnegan stopped on a toss play. So still 2nd and goal now from the 10-yard line. The offensive signals coming in. You may be able to see them at the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Mooney looks over his options, 2 receivers each side, low snap, run up the middle, and this one's not going to get very far. If it got back to the line of scrimmage, I'd be surprised. And it looks like Finnegan's going to call for a sub. Here comes Atwell to take his place. Third down coming here. Last touchdown of UCD went to Tom Donovan on a pass over the left side. Let's see what Mooney does here. Mooney's going to the back pylon. He's got Donovan. Basket, catch, touchdown. Donovan comes down with it again. It's now 22-0. UCD on top. The Sky Blue visitors will now line up to go for two. From the 3-yard line. Got to get to the goal line to get 2 extra points here. Maybe you'll see the white hat official bump up for a new play clock. Not like UCD needs it. They go fast. Mooney, toss. Got it to Wiley. Wiley going through, and he cannot get it to the line to gain. No conversion, no bonus points. As UCD will line up to kick off up by 22. Admirals still struggling to get on the scoreboard here, as they're about to enter their 3rd drive of the half. Their drive chart so far: a punt that was recovered on a muff, turned to a turnover on downs, a fumble, a punt, a punt, a punt, and another punt. Cork tried to get adventurous in their last full drive of the second half, where they faked a punt, but unable to do anything with it because of an illegal man downfield penalty. UCD will line up to kick south as we close in on the end of the 3rd quarter. Leading by 22, UCD now has an outside chance at overtaking the Belfast Trojans on point differential, which will make it for an interesting setup next week, as UCD, they're the only game of the week against the University of Limerick Vikings, as it is Good Friday and Easter Sunday, so UCD will be playing, of course, on Saturday. Lambert lines up, and he'll send the kick short. It's an interesting squib kick. This one's touched, bungled. Admirals pick it up, can't get far beyond the 10, out to the 15, and it's a rally to the ball. Greer and Corrigan, among others, on the stop. First down and 10 from the 14, it looks like, for Cork. As the Admirals still trailing by 22, but they will huddle up again. Bunch receivers on the left-hand side, one far out to the left, one far out to the right. Here's a snap and a handoff up the middle with a nice blocking. And the ball was taken away. Kusmerik's got it, and the runner is going to be ruled down by contact. Big run from Harris Monaghan, number 81 for the Admirals. That time, the Admirals' offensive line won the battle, created a hole right up the middle in the A gap. Let's see what happens here. 4 down linemen, 3 linebackers set, it looks like. Handoff again is up the middle. UCD loads up the box and stops them. Stopped on the line of scrimmage, could not get very far. Nearing the end of the 3rd quarter, if we're not already there, as the Admirals taking their sweet time in the huddle. Admirals will try to line up quickly, but they lost track of time. At the end of the 3rd quarter, UCD leads 22-0. Teams will now switch sides. The Admirals will attack the south end zone. UCD will attack the north end zone, as both teams trying to get on the board here. Admirals looking to get on the board for the first time. They've made it into scoring range a couple of times, but were unable to get very far. Next live broadcast for UCD American football will be right here on this channel against the University of Limerick Vikings, a team that has yet to score in AFI this season, but they do have a point as far as a scoreless draw. That was their first game of the season. When I saw the final score from that game, I was confused, and I needed to get verification that it was actually a scoreless draw. Anyway, snap here to Kennedy. Fake the toss to the flat and looking for the hitch route, no go. Larry Doyle on the breakup. Third down coming. I must say, Cork's uniforms might look great on the sideline. They were not designed with a broadcaster in mind, especially here in the blinding sun. That blue blends in with the red really well when you turn ever so slightly. The yellow against the sky blue is not great in direct sunlight, but I'll take it because still in the shade it is very visible. Two receivers each side. Kennedy has it. Looking over the top, got a man wide open, and he could not haul it in. Mazer on the attempted pass got behind the safeties, could not haul it in. Fourth down coming. So yet another Cork drive where they just miss on their big play opportunity. Dan Sheedy back to punt for the Admirals. Snap comes right into the chest, a bit slow. It's a kick toward the sideline, and Douglas will field it. He'll take it a couple of yards, get a stiff arm, and slightly better field position for UCD as they get it beyond the 30. Last two drives for UCD both resulted in touchdowns. Both resulted in Tom Donovan touchdowns, to be specific. So now we see what the play calls are here for UCD, who's got a good sense of control over the result of this game. Granted, it is still a 3-possession lead. In theory, the Admirals could come back, but given how slow their offense operates, they would need to score lightning quick, as there were 2 footballs on the field, so referee's got to take care of that. Aaron Mooney back in shotgun to receive this snap. Motion coming right. Short toss, pitch play to Torin Murray, and the sweep action works out just well for a few yards. Second down coming. UCD will line up from the left hash following the play going out of bounds. Looks like base set here for UCD. Mooney looking toward his right. Got a man one-on-one. It's Freeman. He catches it on the fingertips, keeps his balance, and he's going to take it all the way. Jefferson Freeman, free as a bird, running down the middle of the field. 6 points UCD. UCD will now line up to go for 2. Freeman had to reach out fingertips to snag that ball and somehow kept his balance and outran 2 cornerbacks for the Admirals. Mooney sets up with 3 receivers to the right. All lined up on the left hash mark. He'll roll toward the right. Got somebody open. It's Douglas coming back to the ball. And it's an extra 2 for UCD. So now UCD sets up again for the kickoff after the long touchdown pass to Jefferson Freeman, young rookie out of Washington State. He's from one of the islands the U.S. won in international arbitration against the British government. And if you're interested in a recap video that deftly and comically explains the lack of understanding between the British and the Americans, I definitely recommend Oversimplified's video, The Pig War. Freeman is from the Orcas Islands, although I might be mistaking him for... he is from the Orcas Islands, the northernmost island of the Pig War between Washington State and British Columbia in Whatcom County. Kick is along the ground and nobody for the Admirals touches it. It will roll just beyond, was almost a goal right underneath the goalposts, but instead it will just be a touchback. 11 minutes and 8 seconds separate us from the end of this game. UCD on top 30-0. Admirals struggling to get anything going on offense. 2 receivers each side. They got a stack formation on the left. One back stays in for pass protection in the backfield. Here's the snap, looking out toward the side, and it gets beyond the safety. This is trouble for UCD. Got a man wide open, cannot catch him. Touchdown, Admirals. First points of the day come on a lightning strike touchdown. And the Admirals are on the board. Looks like the Admirals will line up to go for 2 here. No sense in going for 1, considering how far behind you are. As it's Dublin Sky Blue versus Cork Rebel Red. And right now, the boys from the capital county are putting a hurting on the Admirals. First points of the day so far for the home team. 2 receivers right, 1 to the left, and 2 men in the backfield. Kennedy takes the snap, fakes the handoff, throw to the flat, broken up before he could reach the goal line, no conversion. Kusmera keeps them out of the end zone, so it's just 30-6 as Cork will come back out to kick. Curious to see how the Admirals line up to kick here. They are down by a lot, and they do need the points. Wonder here if the Admirals could line up on side, as currently they're just lining up in a traditional formation. Although they were 1 short, as you see someone running onto the field onto the right side of the kick. As the T is going to be placed in the right hash mark, which might be the first indicator that something interesting is happening. And here's some motion. Everybody's gathering around the ball. 1 receiver is way out to the far side. The ball falls off the tee due to wind. So UCD gets an extra chance to set up with a little assist from Mother Nature. Everybody is bunched up around the football, except for one person on the far side, and the ball falls over again. So I've never seen an onside kick from a held ball before, and I'm not going to see one this time. As it's kicked all the way deep, UCD does receive it and barreling over a guy to get the extra yards. UCD comes back out into the field for the second time this quarter. Already a touchdown to Jefferson Freeman. That's their third straight touchdown drive of the day here in the second half. An offense that struggled to get into scoring range in the first half, as it looks like there's some confusion as to who is supposed to be in this formation for UCD. They're running guys on, running guys off, and it looks like Ty O'Connor is in to play quarterback. So a timeout for UCD, their first of the half, following some line confusion. I believe that number 0 is Tom Donovan, because his 6 was ripped earlier in the day on the incredible touchdown catch and run that he had, dragging at least 3 Admirals players with him. O'Connor sets up as the quarterback. He fields a low snap, takes a short run, hard hit, breaks up the play. It was Kusmarek on the run. Douglas lines up in the slot with Donovan to his left, as O'Connor has 2 in the backfield with him and a receiver out to the right. He gives the ready go to the line and could not haul it in on a short pass play, but O'Connor was knocked down behind the throw, and it looks like another roughing the passer call is going to bail out the UCD offense on yet another late hit. Automatic first down for UCD. This will take them beyond midfield. They'll set up now at the 40-yard line of the Admirals. As here with a 24-point lead and with the backup quarterback in the game, it's time to just bring this one in for a safe landing. O'Connor will wait, 2 receivers each side with a setback. O'Connor holds, looking to his right, has Douglas over the middle. It's dropped. Right into his hands, could not get it there. Second down coming up again. As it'll be 3 receivers on the left side following this motion. Leaves Freeman out there all alone on the right. O'Connor looking that way. He's got one-on-one, and it's a lot of contact. And Freeman comes up appealing for a flag, and he's not going to get one. It sets up a long third down here beyond midfield, as UCD would hate to have to punt here. 36 is the score. Tyg O'Connor is into play at quarterback. UCD sets back up in their 2 receivers each side formation. O'Connor receives. O'Connor waits, looking left this time. Got a man open. It's Donovan. High points the ball, makes the catch beyond the sticks, gets that first down. Now UCD is threatening again. Snap low. O'Connor rolls. O'Connor rolls some more, gets beyond the line of scrimmage, taking it all the way, gets a few extra yards, gets inside the 10. And a player for Cork is down on the ground with a timeout in for the injury. So after the Tyg O'Connor run, it is going to be first and goal for UCD in this 30-6 ball game. This is the 3rd matchup of the season for UCD and 3rd matchup of the season for the Admirals. Next week, UCD will play their 4th game before taking a break for the exam period at the university. UCD taking this opportunity to substitute some of their players due to the injury timeout. Typically, UCD likes to run the same guys out there on offense as many plays as possible. O'Connor's got 3 receivers to his left, 1 to the right. He receives the snap, hands it off to McKenniff. McKenniff going to get around 1, get around 2, and he brings around the corner. Touchdown and a late tackle as well. No flag going to come in on that tackle, but McKenniff runs all the way through to secure the touchdown. It is 36-6. UCD in the lead. O'Connor and company line up for a 2-point conversion. O'Connor spins after the throw, and he had to throw out of pressure, able to just get away from it all. Incomplete pass. Sets up another UCD punt to bring up the next drive, or kickoff, I should say. O'Connor was brought down to the ground there, and again, no flag on the play. That yellow thing you just saw is the kicking tee, not a flag, even though it is also yellow. Once again, we thank you for joining all of us today at UCD American Football on this rebroadcasted game. It is 36-6, UCD in the lead, as they will line up for this kickoff. Admirals got their first points of the day on a long pass, their only play of the drive last time out. So let's see what the Admirals can do here. Line drive kick straight at the receiver. It's received. Huge blow up on the play and getting around the blockers. The receiver had a really fortunate blow up block there. Eventually secured out of bounds still at Cork's half of the field. Referees are discussing again. Potentially something happened on the UCD sideline following that play. Our officials are still talking about the most recent drive. It'll be 1st and 10 for Cork when we eventually get this sorted out. And they'll pick up the flag, whatever it was for. So anyway, the Admirals will line up here, down 30 points again. Coming up on around 8 minutes to go, if my timing senses are correct. UCD puts 5 guys down. No, that's 4. I miscounted. Pass out to the flat, broken up in the backfield. Complete, but could not get past Kusmarek, who sniffed out the play all along. Pass was for Eamon O'Leary, number 17 in red. Cork is once again playing to their reputation. They're not going fast despite being down by 30 points. 5 receivers set, 3 on the left side. Kennedy holds, Kennedy waits, got it over the side, and it's complete for a short gain. Gets it back to another 3rd and about 10. They'll mark him down actually short of the original line of scrimmage from 1st down, so this will be a 3rd and 12. Needed to get to the UCD 40-yard line. And the Admirals coaching staff calling another timeout. Yikes, that's their 2nd of the half. And UCD will jog over to discuss things with their coaching staff. Once again, we thank you for joining us for this rebroadcasted game. My name is Max Walpoff, and we had a lot of technical difficulties yesterday when this game was live. So what you're seeing today is a game that has already happened. The result is already in the books. I did not watch a second of the game because the way we work, normally when the game happens, I have to call the game off of this feed, which is a feed from our artificial intelligence camera. That feed is delayed coming to me, so it's best if I don't watch the game live. I had everything set up in the UCD changing room. I had my computers, I had my notes, and then the camera would not connect to Wi-Fi. No matter what we tried, we couldn't get it to work. So yesterday's live stream was just me in this suit and tie combination talking to everybody about a text chain that I was getting from the coaches. Anyway, the Admirals are back out of the field. 7 minutes and 30 seconds left. Airing it out long on this 3rd down and intercepted. Liam Poulsen picks it off, gets it to the sideline. He's run out of bounds. UCD back on offense following the interception. It's been 4 straight scoring drives for UCD. So let's see what happens here. Aaron Mooney led many of the early drives in this half. Tyg O'Connor led the most recent scoring drive. O'Connor, the only backup QB traveling today. Joe Carroll was unable to make the game. A couple of players were unable to make it as O'Connor lines up and goes for the slant route. High point catch, and did he complete the process? It's an extremely late call. Ball was bouncing around. UCD is being ruled that it's theirs after the fumble. Very interesting call here. Jefferson Freeman went up to grab it. Seemed like he had control of it, but that's a really tight call. If he had control of it, did he fumble? And they're going to give UCD the ball. So it'll be at the spot of the recovery of the fumble. So they rule it was a catch, fumble, and then recovered by UCD. 2 receivers to each side. Tyg O'Connor stands and receives. O'Connor waits. O'Connor fires, looking for Freeman again. Ran out of racetrack on the sideline. Setting up second down. Second down here for O'Connor. He's got 3 receivers to the left, and UCD, this play looks offside, so O'Connor's going to heave it deep. It's intercepted. No flag is on the play, so this is just an interception for Cork. UCD's offense is staying on the field thinking that it's still their ball after what looked like a free play jump. And UCD's offense will jog off the field incredulous. The Admirals get the second turnover of the game. Wow, that looked offside on the live feed. I'm surprised that wasn't flagged. And granted, we don't have the super challenges of the United Football League. Where would you get the cameras to watch them? So we're heavily reliant on the officials' crew that we have wherever we go. So Cork gets the ball, setting up their now 6th drive of this half. Short run up the middle goes for limited gain. Second down coming. This is a second and about 4, call it. Officials are discussing the spot of the ball with the chain gang. You do not have the technology in this league to spot the ball digitally. You don't play at the stadiums that would allow such a thing or would be capable of such a thing. I'm sure such a thing would be allowed. It's just a matter of capability. And this is going to be an offside call against UCD. So they'll take the yards and keep the down. So now it's 1st and 5. Oh, so now they're calling offside penalties. At any rate, UCD defense staring into their coaching staff as the Admirals huddle up again. Down by 30 points, there doesn't seem to be any real urgency. Two in the backfield, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. Handoff going up the middle and not going to get very far. With only 5 yards to go, it doesn't have to get very far, just a gain of 3. Fun fact, in the original days of American football, back when it was only backward passing, the number of yards gained needed to get a first down was 5. So hence the reason for the strategy of 3 yards in a cloud of dust. It actually worked pretty well. Benefit of any layman who may have wanted that this evening. Two in the backfield again. Pistol snap for Kennedy. It's low, it's on the ground, and quarterback's knee came down kind of early as it's a run up the middle. We're going to call it a first down here for Cork. Harris Monaghan carried that one up the middle. It was a low snap, and the quarterback went down to a knee to get the ball back to him, which, under the rules of this league, resembles college, where if you have possession of the ball and your knee goes down or your wrist goes down for any reason, you're down. The play is over. Tough to understand that call there. Again, absolutely no urgency from the Admirals on this 1st and 10, and they will call their final timeout. Okay, then. Just zero urgency from the Admirals, down by 30 points. Not even to get a second score on the board and get double digits for the first time this season. So now there are about 6 minutes left to go, and Cork is out of timeouts, down by 30, which I think UCD will be happy about to get this game closer to getting on the bus and getting out of town. First and 10 from inside the UCD 40. Cork running the same two receivers to the right, two in the backfield, one to the left combination they've been running most of the game, except they bunch the slot receiver at the tight end position. Kennedy and his running back is wrapped up for a big loss. Callum Crowe on the run immediately met behind the line of scrimmage. Callum Crowe, one of the youngest players on this Cork team that I have bios for, born September 13th, 2006. Cork actually hustles to the line this time. 2nd and 13. Kennedy back to pass, throws it up there, and Polson's running back for it. It's going to sail over his head out of bounds. 3rd down and 13. Admirals running out of time and running out of options. They're not showing any sense of urgency to get more plays called. They are out of timeouts, so whatever confusion they have on the field, they're just going to have to deal with it. Two receivers each side, rushes on. Kennedy's back. Kennedy getting away from pressure, slides to his left, and he throws it away, incomplete. 4th and 13 from beyond midfield, as a offensive lineman is down on the field and in need of a little bit of assistance to get up and get off the field. UCD will take this opportunity to sub out a player or two. From the UCD 40, have to get 13 yards here, and Cork is going to go for it. Down by 30 with under 5 to go, not a whole lot of other options. Two receivers each side, a running back is set for pass protection behind the line. Kennedy waits, gets the shotgun snap. stepping up in the pocket, throws it over the side. He's got a receiver, and this one's tight. It's 4th down. Cork totally thinks they've got this one, as it looked like Callum Crowe, number 25. And they'll call it a 1st down. It may have been 55 Marty Mulry as well. These uniforms are not great for Cork. They're not great in this light. So the Admirals do the same thing they've done for every play today. Back up 10 yards and listen to the quarterback talk. And now the officials are going to discuss something. And they reset the play clock, so now this play will take a little bit longer. Kennedy sets, waiting for further instructions. Motion from the left side. They got a receiver way out to the left, and he throws it away. Not sure what was going on there. There was some confusion on that left side of the line for the Admirals. The flag is down, and it is against the Admirals. They will march back the yards. It's only 5, potentially a substitution penalty. Someone was coming on very late on that left side of the field. I initially thought it was just a receiver spread out very far, but that might have been somebody coming in from the sideline. I didn't see it in real time, but in order to keep this game moving, I'm going to opt and let the stream keep going with us. 1st and 15, as the Admirals continue using the full length of the play clock. Snap to Kennedy, throwing toward the corner route, and it's broken up, incomplete. Admirals appeal for a pass interference call. They will not get one. Coverage on the play from Evan Quigley. Second and 15 coming up here. Admirals trailing by 30 as UCD standing around waiting for the Admirals offense to come up to the line of scrimmage. UCD is ready to go, assuming the Admirals can meet them there. With a 30-point lead under 5 to go, it's a huge chance for some backups potentially to get playing time. Pass over the side, got it complete, got a few yards, and driven out of bounds. That's Jan Decine, or Decini. So they gain a few, brings up 3rd, and it looks like 10. Cork is going a little bit faster now. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right, running back into pass protect. He doesn't leak out, and it's a strip sack. Ball down on the ground. Ball still rolling around there. It's picked up by UCD. Eddie Goggins Jr. recovers the strip sack fumble. And UCD puts an end to the threat from the Admirals. So now an interesting spot here for UCD. They would be wise to milk as much time off the clock as possible. However, they do have a chance to go for another touchdown here on this half of the 2-minute timeout. It would behoove them to go for another touchdown here, considering the Belfast Trojans' margin of victory from the first two games of the season were 40 and 33. Here's the handoff. It's met immediately. An immediate takedown in the backfield on Cooper McQueen. 2nd and 15 coming up. Queen staying in the game following that hit. 3 receivers left, 1 to the right. Tygo O'Connor still in the game at quarterback. Leaking out pass for Cooper McQueen. He gets some great yardage. Flag on the play in the backfield. And McQueen gets a very nice gain. We'll see what the flag in the backfield is, in the neighborhood of holding or roughing the passer. And judging from the fact that the referee is talking with an Admirals player, I believe this one is on the home team. And indeed, the signal is roughing the passer. First and 10 for UCD, as they, interestingly, opt to take the penalty yards instead of McQueen's run, I think. 2 receivers each side, set back in the right side. Motion coming. They fake the pitch. They fake the jet sweep. Got it around the corner and getting some great yards, but running out of bounds. That's number 40, Ben Corey. As O'Connor's now going to run toward the sideline and chat with his coaches with a flag down on the play. Running back did step out of bounds, tried to come back in and reestablish himself, but the play is supposed to be done by the point he runs out of bounds. So there was a hit afterward, but in fairness to the Admirals player who hit him, UCD was trying to get those extra yards in case the referee on that side did not notice that the play was out of bounds. Another lengthy discussion of a penalty. Not totally sure what our white hat is writing down. And it's a penalty against UCD for holding. So they'll march the play all the way back. And then there's another foul on Cork. So they've walked the play back and they walk the play forward. You take your football in, take your football out. Are we dancing the hokey pokey here? What's going on? I kid, I'm having fun at the expense of the ridiculousness that we just watched. But anyway, potentially a dead ball foul on Cork, so everybody gets the play enforced. O'Connor waits for the snap, got 2 receivers to his left, 2 to the right, and it's a pop pass for Jack O'Riordan. O'Riordan sweeps around the right edge. O'Riordan getting past the first down line. He shakes and bakes the defender, getting all the way to the touchdown. spikes the ball with authority. They'll flag him for an excessive celebration, and I don't think he cares. Jack O'Riordan on a jet sweep pass play. That's a passing touchdown for Ty O'Connor. And it is now 42-6, UCD on top. So UCD sets up here for the 2-point conversion. And actually, they're just going to set up from the 3. All right, I guess they opt not to enforce the penalty, or they picked it up. As O'Connor waits, and a false start here. They're going to stop the play now. And O'Connor puts his arms up, hoping to not get hit by the people rushing him. UCD a false start, and they'll walk the conversion try back to the 8-yard line on this 5-yard penalty. O'Connor now waits for the conversion try here from 8 yards out. 2 receivers each side. Gets the low snap, throws it over the side, and it's into the hands, out of the hands. Well broken up by David Kinsella. And it stays at 42-6. So UCD will line up for likely their last kickoff of this game. And they are now up over 30 points. So mercy rule timing is likely in effect here. For those unaware, mercy rule timing allows for the officials to keep a running clock no matter what. And for the benefit of all of us, that allows us to all to get out here earlier. Lambert will line up to kick with his normal kickoff unit on. As we await the signals that the officials are in their proper positions to allow UCD to kick this ball off. Squib kick up the middle, and it's actually received by the fullback up inside, and Daniel Greer levels him. Taps him on the back, and I don't know if that was exactly a wise idea. Daniel Greer absolutely leveled Marty Mulry on that last kickoff. And a flag on the play. And it looks like they've caught the attention of Matthew Sabonioni on the play, number 33. Lines up in a lot of different positions for this Admirals team. Officials were calling him over to discuss what happens here. But again, another special teams tackle by Daniel Greer. I still remember one of his first lines at the learn to play football sessions that UCD had in the fall in the recruiting drive was, "I came here to hit people." He's not a guy you want. An unsportsmanlike conduct call is being sent on somebody for the Cork Admirals. He's been ejected. Thumb in the air, and Sabonioni is taking an early exit to this game. Because this is a second half ejection, this is a guess based on my understanding of the rule book. Sabanyani has to miss the first half of their next game. Wow. A late play ends up costing Cork for the next game, too, as a few of UCD's backups are now into play what looks like the last couple of snaps here. And the Admirals will just kneel down. No rush by UCD. They're content to call off the dogs as the Admirals wave the white flag. Final couple of seconds will tick off the clock, as it is a mere formality here. The Cork Admirals will fall to 0-3 on this young season, as UCD will move to 3-0 and back at the top of the table before next week's clash with the University of Limerick Vikings. I want to again thank everybody for sticking with us through this rebroadcasted game. Not an ideal setup for any of us, not an ideal scenario to be put in. But here as Cork kneels down for the second time. And it's again no rush for UCD. And handshakes all around. That is your final. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Cork. Dublin puts down the Rebellion today by a final of 42-6. Our next broadcast on this channel will be UCD versus University of Limerick Vikings. Thank you so much for joining us all throughout this rebroadcasted game. On behalf of all of us at UCD American Football, my name is Max Walpoff. Have a great time, and we will see you on Saturday of this upcoming week.